Hello everybody and welcome to this windy video. I hope all of you can understand me at least a little bit, because it's quite windy over here and I don't have an external mic, so excuse me for that one, but I'm working on it. What I want to talk about today is just retirement, because over the past couple of weeks I've been busy with numbers quite a lot. Something I like doing. Calculating what, how, when, how much, and things like that. And well, in that journey I'm on already for a couple of years, certain things are important, and I want to explain to you what I think is important to know if you want to retire early. Just a gust of wind passing by. So if you want to retire early, first of all you have to know how do you want to retire. And with that I mean, how much do you think you're gonna spend? How do you want to live? Do you want to fly a private jet? Do you want to own a boat, luxury cars? Or do you just want to enjoy life, take a walk from time to time, go and see a different city 3-4 times a year and just enjoy just the peaceful life? All of that will have a very big impact on how much you will need to retire early. And what I do is I keep track of all my expenses. I keep track of what I'm earning, and I keep track of my expenses. And by doing that, I know exactly what I need every month. I know exactly what I need on a yearly basis. And by doing that, I have a very good idea what I will need in the future. Because I might have been on this journey already for a couple of years, but I will still need a few years to pull it off. I'm in my early 30s, so it's a bit early as well to retire early, because life gets life doesn't get cheaper every day. It gets more expensive. Every year there's about 4% that life gets more expensive, so you have to calculate for that as well. So let's say, to just give an example, if you need 2,000 a month this year, you will need 4% more next year, and the year after again 4% more on average. Because sometimes the inflation is 2%, but sometimes it's 10%. Sometimes it's also close to zero. So on average over the past 40 years, it has been something of 4.2 or 4.4% on average. So just by taking 4%, you have a good average of that. And that way you can calculate how much you will need in 5 years or 10 years or 15 years, how much you want to earn over time. So point number one, how do you want to live? What expenses do you see for yourself in the future? Maybe we call it point number 2. Do you have kids that need to go to college in 5 or 10 years? Do you need to renovate your house or your bathroom or your kitchen in 7 years? Do you have other expenses, big expenses that you know that will come down the line in a couple of years? Well, then you have to budget for that. And then you have to look at, okay, how much do I really need? And the rule is, if you have investments in the financial markets and they bring in an average of about 11%, which the S&P 500 did over the past 10, 20, 30, 40 years, then you can take out safely 7% and live off that. And then you let in 4%. So each year your investments grows by that 4%. so we can buy every year the same amount of bread, the same amount of pasta, same amount of everything you want to. But I'm not calculating with that 7%, and especially not if you want to early retire a little bit earlier. And what do I mean with that? Like if you want to go like 5 years before you're able to get a pension out from the state or from your company, I would take out 7%. But if you're like 40 or 45 or 50 and it takes you still 15, 20 or 25 years to be able to take a pension out, I would be a little bit more conservative and take out maximum 5%. That way you leave a little bit in, and that little bit is just because, well, when you're young, or at least younger, you might be roughing it from time to time. And what do I mean with that? If you go somewhere, you might be just sleeping in a tent or going to cheap campings. But at a certain point, when you're 50 or 55, you may like to go to a nice hotel or a nice luxury resort. And at that point, you can start taking out that 7% and live a little more luxurious life than before. So that will have an impact as well. Do you want to go at 40, 45, maybe 50? I would suggest take out 5%, and then a couple of years down the road you can switch it to 6 or to even 7%. And also what I think about is, well, maybe retirement doesn't have to be something that's a hard stop. It doesn't have to be something where you stop working completely. Maybe you can make sure that you can get 5% out of your investments and have like 70, 80, 90% of what your yearly expenses are. And then the rest, 10, 20 or 30%, you can earn by working maybe 1, 2, 3 or 4 months a year. Let's say that November, December, January and February are some colder months, the winter months where you live. Well, then if you want, you can just go to work, pick up a job left or right, just in a factory or serving people somewhere. The odd job left or right, 2 weeks here, a week there, get some experience going. Just choose something you like. You don't have to do it anymore really for the money. And at that point, if you can quit even 1 or 2 years earlier than you thought, well, I think I would do it. Because working for 2 or 3 months a year and then be off the other 9 or 10 and do whatever you like sounds good to me. Because in the end, why do you retire early? To do whatever you want at every time of the day, at every time of the week, and just sucking it up for 3 months. I think I would be able to do that. And then when your investments grow and grow and grow over the next couple of years, you will be able to just live fully off of your investments. And at that point, well, be my guest. And you will have to start somewhere. And that investing part might sound scary, or maybe not. Maybe you are already investing, but maybe not. But just start by doing it. 100, 200, 500, 1,000 a month, whatever you're able to. And if you're not able, make sure you are able. Pick up a second job, pick up a camera and start filming something and make a YouTube channel like I do. or at least I'm trying. Save on dinners now, so you can retire in a couple of years. Make sure you don't have any debt. Pay it off. The car, the credit cards, the student loans, the house. Pay it off. It's stupid. The only one that's getting rich from debt is the banker. And well, I guess the reason you're watching this is because you're not a banker. So if you want to get rich, pay off that debt, pay off your house, start investing, start saving, make sure you have an emergency fund, so the basis is good. And that way you will be able to live off of very little. Because if the only thing you have to pay for is food and insurance and maintenance of your house or your apartment and clothes and that trip you want to take and the small other things, the internet and the phone bill, the Netflix subscription, which I cancelled today. Yes, to save that $10.99 a month. But if that's the only thing you have to pay for, you will see that a lot of your money is freed up. You will see that you don't actually need that much. You don't actually need that much. Once all your debt is paid off, when the house is paid off, and you have your own house or apartment or your own little place, living doesn't really cost that much. It really doesn't cost that much. Ditch the car, buy a bike helmet, fluo jacket, and get out. Go to your work by bike. Go food shopping by bike. Even when it rains, it will suck. I know, I get it. I do it myself. But that way, maybe you will be able to retire when you're 40 or 45 or 50. Because you can't lie to me. You can't lie to me. You really like going to your job. You really like sitting behind a desk, crunching numbers, working on projects. I get sick when I hear people talking about projects. Or I get sick when I ask people what they do for a living. And they say they're a project manager. Ugh. I really get sick of it. What I do for a living? Breathing, eating, sleeping, and enjoying myself. That's what I do for a living. I hate my job, but it pays the bills, and even more than the bills, because I live in a certain way and enjoy it. I really enjoy my life. Like right now, it's Wednesday. It's a windy Wednesday. Let's call it that, a windy Wednesday. And I didn't have to go to work today. I didn't go to the office. I didn't go to a place where I hate everything. And instead I'm here talking to a camera or talking to you, how you want to look at it. And just the fact that I know that in a couple of years I will be out of there keeps me going there, because I know I have to suck it up for just a couple of more years, and not like the 30 plus years I should work to receive a pension, a state pension. I'm gonna get out in less than 10 years. And like I said, I'm in my early 30s.